Welcome back to Rational Escapade. Today, we're going to explore 4 unbelievable paradoxes that will challenge the way you think. These paradoxes have baffled philosophers, mathematicians, and thinkers for centuries, and by the end of this video, you'll likely be questioning some of the most fundamental ideas about reality, truth, and logic. Let's dive in and explore these mind-bending concepts that will truly shift the way you view the world. Let's start with one of the most famous paradoxes, the liar paradox. Imagine someone says, "I am lying." The immediate question that follows is this statement true or false? If the statement is true, then the person is lying, which means the statement must be false. But if the statement is false, then it must be true. This paradox creates a loop where truth and falsehood seem to switch places, and we're left with a contradiction. This is a powerful example of how language and self-reference can break down logical reasoning. It forces us to consider whether truth is absolute, or whether it's something more fluid, perhaps even paradoxical. This paradox challenges the way we think about statements, meaning, and the boundaries of logic. Can a statement really be both true and false at the same time, or is this just an illusion created by our understanding of language? Moving on, we have the ship of Theseus, a paradox that challenges our notions of identity and change. Imagine a ship that sails the seas. Over time, every part of the ship is replaced, its planks, sails, even the mast. After all these replacements, the ship still appears the same, but is it really the same ship? Now, let's take this a step further. Someone takes all the old, replaced parts and rebuilds the original ship. Which of the two ships, the one that had all of its parts replaced, or the one made from the original pieces, is the true ship of Theseus? This paradox forces us to consider what makes something the same over time. Is identity tied to physical components, or is it something more abstract, something like continuity or function? How do we define identity when everything about an object changes? The ship of Theseus challenges our assumptions about permanence, change, and what it means for something to remain consistent throughout time. Next up is the unexpected hanging paradox. Picture this. A judge tells a condemned prisoner that he will be hanged at noon on one weekday, but the execution will be a surprise. The prisoner is not supposed to know the day of the hanging until the morning of the hanging. The prisoner, trying to figure out the logic behind this, reasons that he can't be hanged on Friday because if he hasn't been hanged by Thursday, he would know that the execution must occur on Friday. Then, he rules out Thursday, and after some more thinking, he rules out Wednesday, and so on. In this way, he convinces himself that the hanging cannot happen at all. But when the hanging occurs on a completely unexpected day, say, a Tuesday, he is shocked, because it was, indeed, a surprise. This paradox reveals how our expectations can shape the way we interpret the world, and how even the most logical reasoning can lead us to flawed conclusions. It challenges the relationship between expectation and surprise and invites us to consider how our minds process possibilities, probabilities, and even the nature of time itself. Finally, we'll look at Zeno's paradox, specifically Achilles and the tortoise. In this paradox, Achilles, a fast runner, races a tortoise that has been given a head start. Zeno argues that Achilles can never overtake the tortoise. Why? Because every time Achilles reaches the point where the tortoise was, the tortoise has moved a little further ahead. Zeno suggests that since there are an infinite number of points Achilles must pass, he will never actually catch up. This paradox forces us to think about the nature of infinity and how we understand motion. Although we know, in reality, Achilles would easily pass the tortoise, Zeno's paradox challenges us to think about how we measure time, space, and motion. Is it possible for something to actually reach an infinite number of points? And how does infinity interact with our everyday understanding of the world? The paradox invites us to reconsider the limits of our perception and understanding when dealing with infinity and continuous motion. These 4 paradoxes, the liar paradox, the ship of Theseus, the unexpected hanging paradox, and Zeno's paradox, are more than just intellectual puzzles. They push us to think critically about the concepts we take for granted: truth, identity, expectation, and motion. Each one forces us to confront the limitations of our understanding and question how we know what we know. They remind us that logic and reality are often much more complicated than we initially think, and that there's always more to discover if we're willing to embrace the complexity of these paradoxes. So, what do you think? Did any of these paradoxes make you rethink how you see the world? Do you have any paradoxes that you find just as mind-bending? Let us know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and theories. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of paradoxes, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more thought-provoking content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.